Okay, so we're going to start on the foam roller, and we're going to focus on upper back and shoulders today. And we're also going to add some March Matness. I was talking about that a couple weeks ago. We are in the month of March, and the Pilates community does one mat exercise a day, and it's the Pilates challenge. So for right now, I want you to just find yourself on the roller and see how it feels. Feel the length of your spine along the roller, and if you'd like, you can kind of shift a little side to side and just begin to feel how that feels from one side to the other. Good. And then come center and just start your pelvic tilts. A good way to do this for right now, just have your thumbs by your belly button and your hands are like a little triangle. So fingertips are pointing down, and we're just going to start rocking our pelvis back and forth. So as you exhale and your belly button presses down, you can feel that your hip bones are higher than your belly button. As you inhale and the tailbone comes down, you feel your belly button higher than your hip bones. And just continue this to whatever pace works for you, and observe how your back feels. It's a good way to set the tone for the practice. And let's connect our breaths to the movement. And if you feel pretty good here, I want you to see if you can find neutral spine. So feeling those hip bones, if they're higher or lower than your belly button, chances are you are not in neutral spine. Everything should be parallel to the sky. And notice if you're flaring the ribs like this, or if you can keep them down. And if you need to, go ahead and roll again a little side to side. And find your center. On your next exhale, let your right leg float up into tabletop and just keep it there. Let your left arm float up into tabletop. As you breathe, I like the exhale to move my arm and leg out towards the side they're on. So my right leg is going right and my left arm is going left, just enough that I'm maintaining a stability of my pelvis. A little back and forth. Good. This is really good for hips. And use your breath. Come center, bring your leg and arm down, lift your left leg up, lift your right arm up, and same thing, open and close. Notice I just did it. The leg that's stable, the leg on the floor, can you maintain it being stable, or do you notice if it's moving with the other leg like I just did? That's a challenge. And come back, center both legs down. And let's just alternate one leg up at a time. So we're in dead bugs. And just check again, check how your posture is feeling. The next time your right leg comes up, keep it there. Can you let your left leg float up to meet it? And from here, let one leg tap down at a time. And notice how that feels. So if that's too much for you, because this is a lot more work than the one from the floor, you can always do it from the floor. It's better to build up than to overdo it. And it's really neat when you see yourself progressing and gaining more strength. And then bring both feet down however you like, and walk them to the wider edges of the mat, and let your knees come together as much as it possibly works for you. And I'm hoping you feel a little stretch in the outside of your hips. And then let your arms come to the sky and hug the roller with your shoulder blades, and then reach your shoulder blades away. So all you're doing is hugging and lengthening the shoulder blades. Really good for the neck and shoulders. Focusing on our requests. I'm hoping you feel the shoulder joints getting some good mobility. And then walk your feet in so your legs are more neutral, and then open your arms to the side and just let them hang out. So depending on the size of your roller, depends on how deep you feel this stretch. I have a pretty low roller, so I feel it, but it's not knocking me out or anything. So to increase this, I'm coming into goalpost with my arms, and I'm gonna let my arms come down like this, and it increases the sensation a lot. And just notice how that feels. If this is uncomfortable for you or your arms are up like this, go back to lengthening. Or you could put a yoga block under your elbows to help you gain a little more movement. You should be able to comfortably have your whole back of your arm on the floor. Good. And I'm hoping everybody's feeling that opening in their chest area. And everybody turn your head to the right and hold it there for a moment. Notice, do you feel anything in your neck? Janetta, if possible, you might want to pat up your head so that your chin is down more towards your chest. I think it's too high up. So if you have like a little pillow or something you could put under your head. And then turn your head the other direction. And my hope is you feel a nice stretch in your neck. So no matter what, I want this to be comfortable. So what I noticed is that one of the ladies, their chins were up, and to me that causes a lot of strain in the neck. So my thought is to lengthen it out, and sometimes just having a little lift under your head helps that. Eventually, we gain so much more mobility and flexibility in our spine that you can have the back of your head on the floor. So let's try that again. Let your head turn one direction. That looks much better. How does that feel? Good. And switch. Take a moment and notice, are you feeling it anywhere else? Is it going into your shoulder? Is it going into your jaw? Come back center one more time, and then let your arms come down by your hips. And we're gonna roll off the roller however feels good to you. And since we did something for our neck and shoulders like that, let's do one more thing for the neck. Place the roller right under your neck. So in this instance, you won't need a pillow because the roller will act as a pillow. And same thing, roll your head side to side and see how that feels. Hopefully really nice. If you need to, you could roll on one side a little or the other. Come back center, take the roller away from you and set it down for now. And I want you to walk your feet to those wide edges of the mat and start the windshield wiper of your legs side to side. And just see how that feels. It should feel really good in your hips. Keep going. I'm going to come up for a second. Keep moving your legs side to side. And when you feel like you've moved them side to side enough, let both legs drop to the left and stay there. If by any chance you're feeling a pull in your right knee, just bring it in a little or set something underneath it. If you want a little more of a sensation in the front of that right leg, walk that foot back and feel the stretch in the front of that right leg. Now from here, take your hands under your head, pick up your right elbow, bring it all the way up and over to the floor on the left side. My hope is you're feeling a nice stretch in the lower right side of your back, maybe even a stretch in the front. Hey, Eleanor. Keep muted. Keep your elbow on the floor. And really into your breath. Notice what's happening for you, not only physically, but emotionally. So every inhale, feel yourself creating space in your entire body. Every exhale, let go. Release everything you don't need. Just let it go with the breath. Notice if you're holding on to anything, can you let it go? I would love to hold this a lot longer, but for right now, we're going to stack our legs. Keep holding the back of your head with your hands and use your bottom arm as a pillow. So if you're on the same side as me, your left arm is a pillow. Let your right elbow lift up and press that shoulder blade down towards your hip. Rotate your head to look up at that elbow and lead with your shoulder blade and keep your gaze over the elbow as you roll back. So wherever it is that your body wants to stop, stay there. And notice, are you holding on? Can you take a breath and let yourself release a little deeper? Whatever you do, just be where you're at. Avoid forcing the stretch. Just let gravity naturally help you open up a little more. And just stay and allow yourself to open up. With every breath, see if you can feel yourself getting a little heavier in the shoulder. And it's okay if your shoulder blade doesn't make it to the floor. You are wherever you are today. As you exhale, bring that elbow back up and over. You can use that bottom arm as a pillow. Take your top arm, lengthen it up, and just notice where your hand is. If your arm is up here, it's going to get into the neck a little. So I'd love it if you could bring your arm more towards where the bottom ribs are. Reach your arm to the sky, and then same thing, let your head follow your hand as you roll back, aiming that shoulder blade to the floor, maintaining the alignment of the shoulder. So a lot of times I see people forcing their arm down further than they're ready. And it's really more about letting it happen naturally. And wherever you are, just stay and breathe and hold. On your next exhale, unwind back. And we're going to press ourselves up to sitting and switch so that we're on the other side. So we're going to start laying onto the right side. I'm reversing the whole thing. So from here, we're going to start where we just were on the left side. You're going to reach your left arm forward, reach it to the ceiling. Take a moment, turn your head to look at your hand. And as you exhale, think of rolling your shoulder blade towards the mat. If you'd like, you can take your right arm on that left leg and really focus on the shoulder blade coming down. Keep holding on to this position. I'm going to turn my head for a moment to look at the class. So just take a moment and notice how this feels. Every time I do this, it feels differently. Today I felt it in my shoulder blade. Mostly I feel it in my chest. So where is it happening for you? If you change the positioning of your legs, does that change how the movement feels? Maybe bring your knees up a little higher.
maybe lengthen them out a little more. What feels best to you? I like my knees up. It feels so much better to me. Then exhale, bring your arm back over. So we're here, and you're gonna exhale and bring your arm back. Hold the back of your head with your hands. Let your head rest on your right arm. Lift your left elbow up. Think of pressing that left shoulder blade towards your hips. And as you exhale, start to roll back and look at that left elbow as you roll back and get a nice opening in your thoracic spine. With every exhale, see if you can allow your body to unwind a little more. And with every inhale, how much space can you create? And while I'm thinking about it with the breath and how it affects our body, I'm not trying to advertise this, but we've been watching Limitless with Chris Helmsworth. And as you exhale, bring that elbow up. And what made me think of that, start to bring your top leg back and roll back to your back. And we're going back to the windshield wipers, legs side to side, getting into that pelvis, into the quads. So the last episode we watched, ironically enough, I hope I'm using that right, was on fasting, but not intermittent fasting. Actually, he fasted for 4 days, and they talked about the benefits of doing that once in a while. And it was very interesting. And part of it entailed him learning how to breathe to gain more of a capacity to hold his breath longer so he could hunt in the sea for his dinner on the 4th day. So it was really fascinating to watch his instructor exhale all the air out, and you could see her completely hollowing out her belly and her lungs, and then when she inhaled, her body expanded. So it just made me think of how the breath connects to our bodies. Also, it helps with our emotions. So when you're ready, let both legs drop to the right and stay there. And just observe how that feels. I'm hoping you're getting a stretch right about here where my hand is rubbing. And if you want to go deeper, you can walk the leg back, but if you feel a pull in your knee, walk that leg forward. And just let your leg be. And notice, again, are you holding on? I catch myself holding on all the time. Inhale, feel the rib cage expanding. Exhale, let everything go. Place your hands behind your head again, and this time pick up your left elbow and bring it all the way up and over to the floor on the right side. And if you feel yourself holding on, can you allow yourself to release a little more? Let the stretch happen. And then as you exhale, roll back. And we're going to do the first March Matness exercise. So there's several ways to do this. Before we get into it, I'm going to ask you to hold the edges of your mat and lift your elbows up. So you have the edges of your mat, your head is resting on the mat. As you exhale, think of pressing your ribs into the mat to lift your head, neck, and shoulders up. Let your head rest into the mat like a hammock. My hope is, I'm going to drop the mat, my hope is that you actually feel this in here and nothing in here. And then let the mat come down. So the reason I did that was because we're going to do the 100, and the 100 entails you to hold this position, and I definitely want no pain in the back of the neck. If at any point it's too much for you, you could take your foam roller and just set it on under your neck to help keep your head, neck, and shoulders up, or you can rest all the way down. It's really up to you. And your feet are either here, here, or here, wherever it works for you. So the movement is nice and little, and we're pulsing our arms like this, and we're gonna breathe with the pulses. So we'll all start simple. Take a nice inhale. As you exhale, roll up. And we're gonna start right now. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Rest. So we're gonna grab our shins and simultaneously roll your knees out to the side. So that exercise was more about breathing, and the minute I felt my back was not being stable, I bent my knees again. Reverse your circle. So it's really important to make sure that you're in the best position possible. So we're gonna stay here and wrap our hands around our hamstrings. As you exhale, poke your toes to the wall in front of you and roll all the way up, nice and slow. So that's an assisted roll up. And as you exhale, think of a curl in the lower back as you slowly drag your heels and roll down your spine one vertebra at a time. So here's the thing. We don't want end range of motion if you have conditions like osteoporosis. So can you roll up with a little more length? And maybe I'm giving bad advice. I hope not. Roll back. But I think this is relatively safe as long as you're not really curving a lot in your spine. But if you've been told not to do any flexion, please do not do any flexion. Roll up and roll back. So that's the second March Madness. Actually, the official version of it, the legs are extended. Start with your arms above your head as you exhale, arms up. Inhale, exhale, start to roll up, really pressing your feet into the mat. And then roll back. Let's do that one more time. Roll up. And since we're already here, grab your roller, bend your knees, and when you roll back, I'm hoping the roller ends up right at the base of your shoulder blades, the bottom part, the pointy part. Roll back. Place your hands under your heads. And let your head rest in your hands. So now again, I'm really hoping you feel a stretch in the back of your neck. You could test yourself out to make sure your chin isn't jamming into your chest. Now from here, start to exhale and bring your head towards the floor. So I can easily get my head to the floor, but I also again have a low roller. If it's higher, it's going to be more challenging. Bring yourself back up. Now I'm hoping what you're feeling is an extension in your thoracic spine. Exhale up. Inhale here. Exhale down. If you're able to get your head to the floor and it feels pretty good to you, just open those elbows out to the side and see how that feels. Notice, are you flaring up like this? Can you press down a little with the lower back? Boy, do I feel my upper back getting a deep stretch. Lift up again and lift your hips up the mat and roll up and down the roller. It should feel really great. Maybe roll just into one side or the other.
come back center. Take your legs and roll up again. And we're gonna set the roller aside for right now. And we're gonna take another roll down. Feet are hip width apart. And bring them in as close as your knees are happy about. Hands by your hips, shoulder blades flat, head and neck aligned. As you exhale, start to curl your tailbone up. Lift up your spine one vertebra at a time. Keep your hips in line with your shoulders. Think of drawing your thigh bones a little more towards each other. Really lengthen, keep your gaze over your knees, and slowly roll down. As you do that, notice, are you feeling a stretch in your thighs? And just for fun, walk your feet a little longer away from you and see how that feels. Lift up one vertebra at a time and notice how that feels. Just watch out for the tendency to flare the ribs. Ooh, cramp. And slowly roll down. And for fun, walk your feet to the wide edges of the mat. You can bring them in as close as you want and roll up with a wide-legged bridge. See how that feels. So every bridge is good for you. It attacks it a different way. And slowly roll down again. Okay, remember how I said I did a lower body blast on Friday and I wasn't that sore? I just discovered where I'm sore. Bring your feet on the roller and press into the roller to lift your hips up. Ooh, I am feeling it from Friday. I wonder if Eleanor is feeling it too, because she took that class. Lift up, hold, hold, hold. Maybe roll your feet back and forth and just take a moment to notice if you could feel if your legs are still aligned. Think of really keeping everything aligned from your hips to the middle of your knees to your second toe. Can you lift those hips a little higher, keeping the ribs down, and slowly roll down. Then we're going to take the roller and lay on top of it. So you're going to press back up into a bridge, and this time you're going to take your roller and place it right under your pelvis. We are not in the lower back. Please make sure you're not in the lower back. And lift just your right leg up into tabletop, then your left leg. Keeping those legs together, start to roll to the right. Come center, roll to the left, and continue rolling side to side. Hopefully being super happy about a massage you're getting into your hips. Excellent. You might want to notice when you go side to side, are your knees stacked? Is one knee dropping below the other? Just a few more like this. I'm hoping you're really getting a nice massage in your hips. Come center, bring your feet down. Place that roller back under your sacrum if it started to slide, and bring your right leg into your chest. Just stay here for a moment and circle your right foot from the ankle joint. Reverse the circle. That feels pretty good to you. Wrap your hands around your hamstring and slowly straighten and bend that right leg. If you're okay here, the next time you straighten your leg, hold it and straighten out your left leg and notice what happens. It should increase the sensation in your legs. As you exhale, press the back of your right leg into your hands. And as you inhale, let your leg release a little deeper. If you'd like, maybe climb your hands a little higher. As you exhale, press your leg into your hands. Inhale, release a little deeper.
One more time. Exhale, press your legs into your hands. It's okay if that left leg floats up. Inhale, release a little deeper. Bend your right knee and open the right knee a little bit more to the right side towards your armpit. Notice, do you feel the stretch in your left hip flexor and quadricep a little bit? Mostly hip flexor. Exhale, center. Bring your right foot down. Bend your left knee. If you need to, readjust that roller. Hug your left leg into your chest and aim your knee towards your armpit and circle your left foot from the ankle joint. Reverse the circle. Place your hands under your left hamstring and slowly straighten and bend that leg. So you're only straightening out your leg as much as your leg wants to be straightened. We never want to force anything before it's ready. Straighten out that leg as much as you're able to, and then straighten out the right leg and notice how that feels. As you exhale, press your left leg into your hands. As you inhale, release into a deeper stretch. Walk your hands a little higher. Exhale, press into your hands. Inhale, release a little deeper. One more time, press into your hands. Inhale, release. Woo. Bend your left knee. See if you can aim your left knee towards your left armpit and notice that stretch really increasing in your hip flexor on the right side. You can always energize that right leg down a little. Then come back center, place your left foot on the mat, bring your right leg to meet it. Press up into one more bridge, remove the roller. Come back down. Grab your hands around your hamstrings. Roll up, and the next thing is the one leg circles. So for March Madness, we did the 100, the roll up and bridge, and now we're going to do one leg circles. So roll back down. We'll start easy, feet on the mat, knees bent. Extend your right leg so it's right next to the left knee. Slide your right leg so it's on top of the left leg. Take a circle around back to the knee. So that's the safest version of one leg circle, all the way up and around. You can do a little more, and you could reverse it. Or if you really feel good and you can keep your hips stable, cross your right leg over the left hip, down, out, and around. Down, out, and around. What I don't want to see is rolling through the hips, down, out, and around. And reverse it. Out, down, and up. Out, down, and up. If you're feeling a click in your hip, can you lengthen out that leg a little more? Bend the right knee. Take your left leg so it's next to the right knee. Start here. Just notice how that feels. Just a couple each side. And if you'd like and you feel pretty stable, you can straighten out that right leg. Swing that left leg all the way up and over. And reverse it. Use your breath. And bend both knees. Wrap your hands around your shins. As you exhale, press your shins into your hands. Nod your head a little, and we're going to roll like a ball. If this is not for you, please don't do it. So my hope is when you're rolling, you're not flopping. You're just rolling up and down. And then extend out your left leg, lay back down. Hold on to the back of your leg. Press your leg into your hands. The left leg's off the floor. And you're going to inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale, inhale. One leg stretch. If your neck hurts, bring it down. and rest. So we're going to bring those feet back down to the mat, and I want everybody to roll to their left side.
Grab your roller. You're going to place the roller right under your armpit, so right at this part of your body. And if you're able to, just let yourself rest on that roller. There are going to be some of us that really are not thrilled with this position, and some of us that won't feel anything at all. This is for my shoulder and upper back people. Just breathe and hold and just see how that feels. If you'd like, you can kind of roll into it, getting into the shoulder joint. I'm feeling this big time. And release and switch sides. And just rolling into it. See if you could rest your head into your arm. Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna do something for my hip people. I know it's upper back, but I want to do a quick one for the hips.
So you can either rest like this,
Or you can be up on your forearm. The bottom leg can be straight or bent. I prefer mine bent for stability. Your top leg is just enough off the floor that you're in alignment with your body. We're not down and we're not up just too high. All we're going to do is point that top leg, lift up right under here, and draw a tiny little circle with that top leg. Reverse it. And it doesn't matter where this top arm is. And we're going to flex that foot forward and point that foot back. And really keeping the alignment of the hips. The next time you point your foot back, bend the knee in, and let's do a couple bicycles. And reverse it. Send it back. You don't have to go any bigger than what feels good to you. Bring your feet together, both knees bent. Lift your feet up and open and close that top leg 8 times. Notice if you're sinking into the shoulder, you can always lay back down. Just 3 more. And from here, straighten out your legs. Sink into the shoulder for a second and press up. I want you to feel the difference. Pressing through your legs, lift your hips off the mat and see how that feels. If you can, lift your arm up. If you can, lift your top leg up. Notice I'm not. Come back down. And we're going to switch sides. So the goal for me, and I hope for you guys too, is to be able to effortlessly lift that top leg up. So that is my focus this month. So from here, just lay on your side. You can lift up in here, organize the head, neck, and shoulders. You can always lay back down. Bottom knee bent, top leg straight, and circle that foot. Reverse it. And flex it forward and point it back. Good. Then start your bicycle. And reverse it. Both legs together, feet are up, open and close that top leg 8 times. Keep that bottom arm stable. And take the test, straighten out your legs, press up to lift up, arm up, leg up if you can, and come back down. Okay, so we're gonna lay back on our backs. Feet back on the mat. Reach your arms up again. And do that shoulder thing that we did on the roller, just on the mat. I hope you feel it. I hope it feels really good to you. Plug your shoulders in, bring one arm behind you at a time. Now you'll notice my hands are facing different directions. It really doesn't matter what feels best to you. Maybe do both together. Maybe bring your arms all the way down by your hips. Bring your feet up, grab your hands around your hamstrings, poke your toes to the wall in front of you to roll up one more time. We're going to flip around and come to our hands and knees. And we're going to do a few cat and cows. As you exhale, curl up. As you inhale, lengthen, leading with the chest. Exhale and curl. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lengthen. Come center. Come down to your forearms.
And do a couple cat-cows like this. So with head, neck, and shoulder issues, this feels a lot deeper. And then holding this position without collapsing in the shoulders, bring your right foot back, bring your left foot back, drop your hips, and slowly come down.
I bet you thought it was going to make you do forearm planks. Walk your hands a little more forward. Feel the hip bones anchored into the mat. And as you press into your forearms, think of dragging your body forward. You should feel the back activate. And just feel the lengthening you're creating in your spine. And then roll down and place the forehead on the mat, and your fingertips are by your armpits. Roll your shoulder blades into their imaginary pockets. Think of them pressing down towards your hips. Energize those legs. Press your feet into the mat. Press your hip bones into the mat. As you inhale, start to lift your nose off the mat and then your chest off the mat. Keep everything aligned with your head, neck, and shoulders. And then come back down. Inhale up again. And exhale down. From here, roll your right shoulder back, roll your left shoulder back, roll your left shoulder forward, right shoulder forward, left shoulder back, right shoulder back, right shoulder forward, left shoulder forward. Then as you exhale, shoulders in their pockets, lift up. Really work on not getting into the lumbar spine. Lift up, and push yourself back into child's pose.
On your next exhale, roll up.
Legs together in the mat. Walk both hands to the far right corner. Now, I'm not all the way to the top of my mat. I'm just forward. I'm about, I don't know, about 6 inches away from my armpits. My legs are together in the center. I'm going to send my hips to the back left corner.
My hope is you feel the stretch throughout your entire body, mostly on the left side.
Come back center and switch sides.
Send both hips to the back right corner. Feel the stretch on the right side. Come back center.
One more thing. Lift your right arm up. Lace it underneath your left arm. I'm bringing my left arm forward so I can lay on the outside of my right shoulder. So if there's some reason you can't get your shoulder to the floor and turn your head looking underneath, you can use anything you have handy to support you so you can get there. So you take your time and you take one little step at a time until you get to where you can come all the way down. I want you to think about how your hips feel. A lot of times I see people kind of shifting. Can you feel your hips evening out? So think of pressing a little more into that left leg so that your hips are even. And then switch sides. Take your left arm, reach it to the sky, lace it underneath you. Whatever you want to do with that right arm. A lot of people like to take binds. And think of pressing into your right knee so you're not sinking up into that other leg. Hips are even. Maybe here. Maybe this feels good to you. If it does, I admire you. Bring your right hand down, come all the way up. Walk your hands to the front of the mat. Curl your toes underneath you. Press your legs back into an inverted V or downward facing dog. Press your shoulder blades towards your hip. Let your head and neck rest. Shake it yes. Shake it no. What's easier? Are you the kind of person that says yes to everything, whether you want to or not? People pleasing? Wanting to always help? Or are you the kind of person who knows how to set your boundaries? Neither is a judgment. It's just where you're at in this moment. And then walk your feet forward. Walk your hands back. Roll all the way up to standing. And you can roll your shoulders all the way back into tiny little circles. And reverse it. I hope I got that other one right. Roll them forward, up, back, down, stay here. Reach your left ear to the sky. Press that left shoulder down. Notice if you can just let your head relax. Roll your head to look down at your right armpit. Roll your chin center. Lift your head up. Reach your right ear to the sky. Press that right shoulder down. Roll your head to look down at your left armpit. Roll your chin center, lift up. Take your thumbs and hitch a ride up. Now go the other way. Hands together behind you, very gently press your hands down and up, only as far as it feels okay to you. Release and just squeeze and open your hands. Let's find our thumbs to our hearts, however you wish. Take a small little bow, gazing at your fingertips. Take another deep inhale, feel that rib cage expanding. Exhale, let everything out. As you inhale, invite in wonderful possibilities for your life. As you exhale, let go of what you no longer need to hold on to. I wish you all love, peace, joy, and wonderful good health always. Namaste.